It's
half hour or so. Any time you want to press a button.
Well, I need to put my phone on so it doesn't switch off halfway through the stream as well. So
that would be good. Or
just don't switch off halfway through. No, nobody can switch off halfway through the stream.
Yeah, well, I've got the button. Yeah, I've got the button this week. Oh, we're live. It looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday, the 14th of January, 1919. It is. I see how I remembered that.
It's not 1919.
Is it not 1919?
Is it not 19?
There's a 19, but it's not a 19.
Oh, well, I got that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah.
Cut. Yep.
We do a do-over.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Monday, the 14th of January, 2019. Yeah. What's the next bit?
Foxx does the next bit.
I think we just do the wrap-up now. It's just we're done now. That's it.
Yeah, it is on the live stream from the eModels, eModels.co.uk, and all the rest of it. And now over to Foxx.
So diplomatic. Hey, everyone. Today in history, this is my new thing. Today in history, in 1943, in World War II, Franklin D. Roosevelt traveled from Miami to Morocco to meet with Winston Churchill, becoming the first American president to travel by airplane. Chris?
I didn't go there. No, I wasn't there. In what year?
We're locked on you now. Me and Ted can go off and get it.
What year was it? I mean,
1943. I've closed it now.
1943. Okay. No. I wasn't there. I wasn't even born.
Not 1919.
Ted was around in 1943. He'll tell us what happened.
Ted was around in 1919.
This is true. That was just a little while ago. Hello and everybody to the eModels live streamy thing. I'll have a quick look through the chat and see who was here. For some reason, it doesn't come back very far today. So.
No, I know. I'm supposed to go. And who's in the chat this week, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'll let you do that then. Go on.
And who's in the chat this week, Chris?
All right. Well, for some reason, my chat didn't load back very far. So I'm going to go through the participant list, which is the new thing that we found that sort of lists people in alphabetical order. I don't know. It seems to work. So we'll see. I'll just read them all out. So pay attention.
If Chris misses you out, then it's just because he sucks. So just don't worry about it.
Right. Today in eModels, eModels.co.uk, we have Adam Clark, Anders, Dad, David, LD, eModels UK, Kenneth, Kissiu, Lord Barkley, Lynn, Mark, Michael, Monkey, Mr. Loth, Paul, Pete, Phil, Ray, Red Den, Bones, Skipper Ted, Spruegrew, Stephen, Tiger Tank 2, Travis Thompson, Wayne, and Zadster. I'm sure there's more because I'm sure I've typed something in there as well. And
there's lots more coming in. I think now we've gone live, they all start coming in. You see,
that's why. Yeah, because you should get here early. Get here early because
when we do the stickers, Carl will come in.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd just seen him, but it must have been somebody else.
Yeah, probably didn't really come in, but and everybody else that's just turned up since I looked and loaded that list.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Well, it's usually Monday night, as we always say. It's your live stream. We're just here to facilitate the chat and things that go on. We take your lead. So if you have any ideas what you want to talk about tonight, any model-related questions about anything, in fact, questions about anything, not just model-related, we'll have a go at doing them.
As always, don't forget, if you're watching this, we depend on you in the chat for our questions and stuff to talk about. If you can't see the live chat, that means you're watching it somewhere other than YouTube. Why are you doing that? What you need to do is click on the little YouTube icon down here in the bottom corner, and that will magically transport you to the YouTube world where you can see the live chat and join in, assuming you have a keyboard and the typing. And you can join in, ask questions. If you want to ask a question, bang it in big fat capital letters so we have a chance of seeing it. Or if you want to, you can hit the super chat button and that will put your question in a big coloured box and we can't possibly miss it then. And there was something else I'm supposed to say, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know why we're out of practice. We did this last week. It's not like
we've been doing it long enough, but we still can't remember what
it normally does. I think I tend to drift off while you're saying it, so I'm not entirely certain.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like from like last week's show to this week's show seems like about 4 weeks. I don't quite know why it feels.
No, it was last week. We weren't around for a couple of weeks prior to that. But this week we were in last week. But
yeah, like ages since we're all rusty for no reason.
Very strange. Yeah.
Well, don't forget, you guys, keep it family friendly and be peaceful amongst everybody. There are our usual mods in tonight as well who will look after you if you have any questions. Or if we do miss your chat, just type it again, and hopefully one of us will pick it up. But yeah, keep it nice and friendly. It's all a bit of fun. That's what we're here for.
Don't forget, of course, if you're on a device that can't do live chat, there are some. then you can just send a question through email. It's ted@emodels.co.uk. Send a question about anything. Can be a question about model making, question about beetroot, question about moss, whatever.
I like beetroot.
Yeah,
nice.
moss is nice. Don't forget, of course, also send us your shout outs if you've got a special event you want to announce over the air, or you want to say hi to a loved one, or you want to get yourself out of trouble by having a shout out because you've done something bad.
Yeah,
it's always the way. Or, you know, if you just want to, I've forgotten the other bit now. It's all just gone.
Remember, all three of us, the eModels address is ted@emodels.co.uk, but all three of us have access to the emails, so it could be picked up by any one of us.
Sometimes we even remember to look at it.
Call any of us Ted. We're all Ted.
Yeah, we're all Ted. Yeah. Right. So, what have we been doing this week? I guess. What, Chris? What have you been doing this week?
I've not been doing very much this week.
You, Chris?
I've not been doing very much this week. I did the MIG build and put the video up on eModels last week, and haven't done anything else with them at all during the week. I've just not got around to them, not done anything. I've been doing a bit of the Warhammery thing, getting a little bit of painting on there. I've done some orange. Look, the whole thing's going to be orange. It's going to be very bright and interesting. So yeah, been doing a little bit of that. But other than that, not very much at the bench, really. So,
for those who haven't seen that episode of the MIG, do you want to show them the MIGs?
I can. They are in a pot.
That's up now on the YouTube channel, so do go and check them out.
That is the box for them, and I have two of them that look. They both look exactly like that at the moment. Actually, let me put that
stealth MIGs
in the box. Yes, I've done them both in UMP gloss black primer. I'm going to be pretty much duplicating the box art, in fact. So I'm going to be doing one of them in shiny chrome. I'm going to use the C1 metallizing powder for the first time in anger on that one, and the other one in sort of green and brown camo, but with a chromy underside as well, because I think that would look quite nice. So I will be doing that at some point. No doubt, hopefully during the next week. That's my plan, at least, is to start doing some of that, and then sticking all the little sharp bits on that I haven't put on yet because they'll fall off. But other than that, yeah, that will be upcoming. It's obviously going to be a week or two to finish them off and build it and get it videoed up and back on the eModels channel again. But keep the little alarm bell rung and it will notify you when there's new content.
Keep the home flag flying.
Indeed.
Fox, have you been doing anything this week?
I have been beavering away this week, actually. I have completely finished. It's only been a year. Completely finished the Strike Rouge.
Yeah, it's in camo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's invisible. I painted it.
It's got a invisible cloak on.
Yeah, it's actually in the process of being packed up to go off to its new owner. So all I've actually got here is the base, which is the bog standard action, or the base that comes with it, and I've got one of the little.
So I take it the new owner's not going to get a base then, because it's not.
No, we will get the base. This bit was just the only bit that wasn't packed away in bubble wrap and delicateness. So it's a Strike Rouge, which I can't show you because if I lift the box up, everything will break. It's a Strike Rouge mobile suit, and it's a gunpla, obviously. But the person it's going to wanted it painted in shades of purple, so it's all different lilacs and purples instead of pinks. So it's Strike Mauve, and it's got the big Owatori backpack, which looks massive and it's huge, but all I've got in front of me is the base. So it's got this kind of purple colouring. It doesn't really come out on camera, but there's like a light purple lilac stripe and a darker purple stripe. There's some fading and there's a little pilot figure there. It's fantastic if you could see it. But then I've also been doing a little bit of Warhammers. I've been working on my Hydra, which I've been working on weekends. And you've seen Ted build one of those. However, now that is finished, I can crack on this week with
the U-boat.
It's going to be an eModels build, because I've not done an eModels build for a while, and later in the next few months I'm going to be doing the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, 172nd Millennium Falcon for eModels. It'll be an eModels build series. It's going to be a little way off yet. So in the meantime, I'm just going to do this fun little project for them. So I'm going to start this week, in fact tomorrow. So it may well be there'll be an episode up in the next few days, because it won't take long.
Well, you better do that. What, 4 hours with a bit of cheating.
Yeah, he's doing it a couple of hours before he films it. And
a couple of extra hours to stick the Warhammer dude in the top. So I'm going to start on that this week. I'm going to do it as a sort of reasonably realistic paint job with proper U-boat weathering. So, and there is just to point out, there is discussion in chat at the moment as to whether U-boats are actually submarines or submersibles. I don't mind. I just look at that and then that stops any argument basically. So they're not submersibles or submarines; they're just adorable.
Yeah, it's still it's a submarine to me. They call the submarines.
Yeah, I mean, it goes under the water. That's what submarine means, isn't it?
As I used to say, a submarine when I was a kid. A submarine.
Submarine.
So yeah, I'm going to start on that this week. Probably only be a couple of episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, but I'm going to do a proper paint job with proper realistic weathering and chipping and scum line and all kinds of bits. So I've done 2 or 3 U-boats in my time, so I'll make it as realistic as possible. Even though it's like that shape.
Yeah, well, as for me, I was going to get on with my submarine this week because as we closed down on Monday night, so right, I'll crack on with submarine. Woke up Tuesday morning, no heating. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I was fiddling with the boiler, trying to get the heating going. Didn't work. Wednesday was out. Tuesday, fiddling with the boiler. Wednesday was out. Thursday, the man came and sort of sucked through his teeth and said, "Need a new boiler."
Was it a wee little fella from the gas board?
No, he sort of. He came and squirted some stuff on it and get you going for now, mate. But you need a new boiler. So that was that. So by that time it was Friday. Then, however, I did some model related work. I put the loft ladder into the loft. So stage 1 of the workshop has begun.
Yes.
So yeah, I can now climb up there much more safely than sort of balancing on top of a set of step ladders and reaching through a tiny hatch that big. So,
you'd never get this up through that tiny little hatch anyway.
No, you did show us a photograph earlier on today on Facebook, which had the loft hatch and the ladder coming down. It looks all really nice, but there was a little bit of collateral damage to the wallpaper around the loft hatch.
Yeah, unfortunately, this house is 140 years old. So when I took some of the wood out that had been there for 140 years, unfortunately, some of the plastic came with it. So
did you get a look, Ted?
Yeah, I got that. I didn't think there was going to be any mess.
You told me. Oh,
Mark Dale in chat has got a good question. He says, "Is there a Toon helicopter?"
I don't think I've seen a Toon.
I've not seen one, but as Lynn says, that'd be cool. A Toon helicopter would be interesting. I mean, I know there's a space shuttle because I did that. There is the boat. There's an aircraft carrier. There's several tanks, and there are the planes, aren't there? So
there are actually helicopter kits. There are egg kits, Hasegawa egg kits. There's a Hughes 500. I don't know if eModels have got any in stock. It's certainly be worth having a look. eModels do stock the Hasegawa kit, so if you can't see one, go on, drop them an email.
Yeah. So yes, there are. There you go.
But such kit, there is a Hughes and some other ones. So yes, egg.
They're sort of in the same vein as Toon tanks, aren't they? They're not the same Toon product, but
they're not made by the same people, but they're close enough. Zadster says there's a SR-71 Blackbird too.
Yes.
There's also a Colonial Viper, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there is one. It's kind of egg-shaped, strangely enough. Phil Lewis did suggest that instead of being a submarine or a submersible, because it's chibi, it would be a chibi-mersible.
Chibi-mersible, yeah.
Or a kawaii-mersible, maybe.
I just wondered if you could do a waterline kit, just cut it in half and sit on a water.
I was debating whether to do some kind of water effect, but I'll probably won't.
It's only that big, and you wouldn't need very much resin to submerge it.
Yeah. Or just a lot of Mod Podge.
Yeah, Cal from Making Models has just come in, so we haven't missed the stickers, have we? Are we too early for the stickers?
Did we say we were going to do them early this week?
Somebody mentioned stickers just before we did. We do take the mickey. We do.
Somebody said it's locked on me, says Jamie Bond.
It's not anymore. I've unlocked it now.
It was it? How long was it locked on him? Was it ages?
All the time. All of it.
And it only took people complained after a quarter of an hour.
Yeah. Zadster says nobody ever seems to have an egg or a chibi Spitfire in stock. Again, if there is one, if there is and you know it exists and it's not in stock, just use the contact form on the eModels website and say, hey guys, when can you get the whichever kit it is for me, because they do stock the Hasegawa egg kits and they do stock the Manga egg kits. So if it's one of those, they can get it for you.
Yeah, I have seen a Spitfire. There are Spitfires out there. Both Hasegawa. Adrian Jones says, "Does anybody know of a paint suitable for British battleships? Battleship grey. Yeah. I think there's a
coincidence.
There you go. Battleship grey. That's what you want."
I think there are some like Royal Navy paint sets and things, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. The Life Colour do a set of paints for. I don't know if they do them for British warships. I know they do them for German and American. American wasn't too much different from ours.
Yeah. Mr. Lowe says that Life Colour is a good accuracy match.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they've brought them out in real colour yet for True Colour. Tim Small says that True Colour do a set, so maybe they have brought them out. I know they were increasing the range all the time. So you won't be stuck for a Battleship Grey.
Skullfish, in response to the egg Spitfire, says that Tiger models do the Spitfire and a 109.
So again, Mark Dow says that his son's middle name is Huey, so that's why he wants one.
Okay, that's a good nickname. I mean, a good middle name, that.
Just go back to the subject of Battleship Grey. You could always tell what ship was being built in the town where I lived, Barrow Furnace. You could always tell what ship was getting built because the houses used to be the same colour.
Everybody's Battleship Grey. Yeah, that'll be a Brit.
Yeah, that'll be us. Yeah. I think one of the new managing directors came to the shipyard once. There was always a rumour of he came out to survey his shipyard and said, we own all this. And he looked across the other side of the town. He looked across the channel to Wally Island and said, who owns all that over there? So the manager said, I think we do as well.
Yeah. If you can see it, you own all that you survey.
Yes, you would always use survey. Yeah, everything with Battleship Grey. Then when we Battleship Grey or black.
Basically, if you can see it, you can crash a submarine into it. We own it.
Yeah, we own it.
Yeah.
That's how. I suppose if you live down near a car plant, everybody rides around in the same car that gets built, and they never break down. But
if you live near the old British Leyland factory, then everything you've got will be painted in rust. Basically. Rust, yeah. Sprue Glue Addict says, "Is this a normal eModels show? The conversation's about modelling for once. It's normally about the 70s and 80s TV."
We'll get 70s and 80s TV.
Do need to point out, by the way, that one half of our resident 1970s crime fighting team, Dave Cardboard and Brian Windmill, was in tonight. Dave Cardboard is in.
Yeah, Brian Windmill's in as well. I've seen him.
Then our crime fighting 1970s duo are in. Fire up the marina.
We had a marina.
Doesn't surprise me, Ted.
Yeah. It wasn't you. Did British Leyland ever make new cars? Because nobody ever seemed to own one. They were always second hand.
In British Leyland, every day was Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. True Colours do a set. I think for Tim Small. I'll tell you what. I'll start that again. Tim Small says that True Colours do a set. I'm assuming.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, we've been there.
We did that. You know when we were doing the talking and you weren't. That was us talking about that.
He said he's building an Airfix 1350 HMS Daring. He added to it. I see.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Lowe's Model Making points out that eModels can also get Fujimi as well because they do a lot of egg ships, and the other brand that do the egg things is the Tiger Cute series. It's the best name ever. They can also get theirs as well. So if it's like as with anything, if you see a model kit and it's not on the website, just drop them a line and say, "Hey, can you get this?" If it's either something they stock and it's just gone out of stock and they can get more, or it's something they don't normally carry but they can probably get it for you anyway. And I've seen them do that. So give them a shout.
Robert Vick's got a couple of questions. He says, "Have you ever built the BB Texas and have you ever built the hood?" The hood I recognise as being the name of the thing, but
Ted's our big boats guy, isn't he?
I don't know what a BB Texas is.
The hood, I'm assuming, is the battleship. Adrian Jones, also going back to the subject of Battleship Grey, is it Battleship Grey or is it blue? Because the colours change throughout the war. Just about what counting there for you.
Did it not just get blue when it got water splashed on it?
Paul Di Tommaso, for some reason, mentions Thundercats, and Spriglu says Schnarf. And Speedy Creator says Bonjour, Damen und Herren, mixing his languages there.
Oh, a bit of German, yeah. A multilingual show, this.
Sergeant Bone says, oh, there's a Chibi Zero with a cat pilot and a Chibi P40 Mustang with a doggy pilot. I need those now. I need
USS Texas, the last living dreadnought. Says
Dreadnought. Are they Dreadnoughts World War One, or did they have Dreadnoughts in World War Two?
Well, yeah, the birth of the Dreadnought was HMS Dreadnought.
Texas was at Pearl Harbor, so they obviously had them in World War Two.
Tim Small says the true colours set for the Royal Navy does greys and blues.
Oh, that's all right. Yep.
Vincent and Mr. Land says Fox, the only decent vehicle to come from British Leyland, Centurion tanks.
Yeah, but they were pretty rusty as well.
Yeah, they had bus engines, didn't they?
Probably. It's British Leyland, what do you expect?
They've got any engines for this tank? That
yeah. No, you can have milk float batteries or a bus engine. Yeah, we'll have the bus engine.
So yeah, so this is what this is how we go along for the evening. For those of you new people that have joined us, yeah, it's not all model related at all.
This has been the most model related show we've done in a while.
Yeah, I think we've done enough modelling for the year now. We'll have to.
Yeah, I think fill our quota now for 2019.
Yeah, we'll get it out of the way. We'll get the modelling stuff out of the way first, then we could talk about rubbish.
Yeah, so let's talk about Ford Cortinas and old TV.
Yeah, my best car I ever had was Ford Cortina.
I want a Mark III. I really want a Mark III. If I win the lottery, I will buy a factory condition restored Mark III in gold.
No headrests, no heated rear windscreens.
No heating at all, really.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, there is heating. It's called summer.
I don't think we'll. No, I've not got a dream car. I always used to like Lamborghinis when I was little, but that was just because they were posh and shiny, and But as an actual car now, I've looked at them. No, I wouldn't really want one.
But just the shape. It's the
yeah.
Well, yeah. That was the shape, and then came along. Was it the Sierra, like a jelly mold? And everybody thought, "Whoa!"
I've had a Sierra. Sierra's a mint.
Everybody thought the jelly mold, but that's the way it's become. They're all like jelly molds now, aren't they?
Yeah, cars don't have character anymore. They're all just boring, sensible shoes.
Well, they all sort of aerodynamics came into it, didn't it? And there's only so far you can before it doesn't work as well as it should.
Health and safety and boring. Modern cars are boring.
I reckon I should get rid of seatbelts and instead of airbags and things in steering wheels, put a big sharp spiky thing.
Yeah,
and everybody will stop speeding immediately.
Yeah, don't get the red because red makes it go faster. Daka. I was going to say, there was something else I'm going to say. Yes, I think cars got boring when they stopped getting the big solid plastic wheels and just went for squishy things. The steering wheel. Stop being the shiny black plastic. It's boring after that.
Yeah, the size of a bus.
Yeah, like my old Land Rover wheels, fantastic. It's great. I developed extra bones in my arm and everything to steer that thing. David Moores asks, Fox, talking about the Meng U-boat, how best to mount it in resin? It's something I've thought of doing, but I've never done it. I've seen it done. I've seen people do things like U-boats underwater, or even just coming out of the water or in resin. And what they do is they make a square, like a former, in which they pour the resin, and they'll build up the resin. I think the trick to resin to avoid bubbles is very thin layers and build it very slowly in layers. And you get so far, and then I was thinking about the other night actually. If I was doing one in water, what I would do is I would somehow mount it from above. Let's pretend. Let's find something that's going to be a U-boat. So this is a U-boat. I'd mount it from above, so it's suspended, floating in air, and then I build up the resin slowly in layers until it gets to like there, and then I'd remove the mounting from above, and then just carry on building up the layers of resin. And you build it into like a mold, like a square mold, so that when you take the mold sides away, you've got a block of clear resin basically. But I don't know how they colour it. I think they just add colouring to certain layers. I've never done it.
Yeah, I was playing with the tugs that I'm building, trying to figure out some sort of diorama on that. So I've been playing with trying to get water and not so much resin, but I've been using some of the Mod Podge and other water effects to try and do it. and if you color it, you have to just use very, very like half a drop for a big thing. Otherwise, it becomes so opaque that it's just blue or green or whatever color you're using. So it's really it's a fine skill as to how colored to make it. And my idea was to use darker colors and fading up to transparent in layers, and it didn't really work. But it's probably because I'm not doing it right.
Yeah,
I've seen it done and it works, so it's possible. But
I mean, there's different ways to do water effect. Depends if you want to do like it's a little thin layer of like the ocean surface, or if you want to do like a block of resin that you can see through, and there's a submarine in the middle of it. I've seen one where there's a submarine that's exploding, and it's like they've got the cloud of whatever they've made it with cotton, and then they've got lighting inside. I don't know where the wire goes. They've got lighting inside, and it's amazing. But if the only thing I can remember, because it's a while since I checked, it really is for that kind of thing is building up in very thin layers slowly. It takes ages and ages and ages. It could take you weeks and weeks just to build it up very slowly. I've never tried it, but I don't think I will with this, because this is just a fun little build. But I might try it at some point.
Michael Jackman says, "Hey everyone, the best spatial shift sci-fi series of all time is being repeated on Horror Channel. Sliders."
I remember Sliders.
The
Crying Man.
The main guy disappeared after like 3 seasons or something. It was somebody else.
No, it had the bloke with the stretchy face. It had the crying man was the kind of blues singing, and it had the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark, whose name I can't remember. His friend, the Bad Dates Indie, that guy. Robert, no, not I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
he was in it. Do any of you paint Warhammer? Asks Carl Bloomer.
Yeah. Is that a loaded question?
Yeah, it's a very loaded question. Yes, I do lots of Warhammer. There's an Imperial Knight just there, and a Taurox. People are talking about cars.
Yeah, there's quite a conversation going on in chat about cars. Matt Dale says the guided tour of the Montego's estate was the point I had to politely leave. Yeah,
that says 2000E or a GXL. GXL. Mark Dale says met a client at work the other day that has a barn full of virtually all British Leyland cars they made. He bought and kept all of them in near mint condition. I loved his passion, but really. Yeah, really.
You can't keep a British Leyland car in mint condition unless it's in a box. It'll just be a pile of rust.
Dave Cardboard says to me, that was Blake 7. Yeah, that was Blake 7 where Blake wasn't in it for the first 2 seasons or something, and then they found him. But, yeah. I thought Sliders the main guy. They were quite a young team, wasn't it? But I thought the main guy disappeared after a while or something.
It was the young lad who had a long face.
Yeah. But I thought one of them
got Bakula almost.
He decided to stay in one of the alternate universe things or something, but it was a long time ago.
I think there's only a few series, and I don't remember.
It's one of those things that you remember being on for ages and ages and ages, and it turns out they only made like 13 episodes.
Yeah. The only thing I remember is Einstein, Rosen Gate, the phrase, and the gate, the front gate on the fence, the garden had a squeak, and that's how they knew whether they're in that original reality or not. He'd always check it and be like, "Oh, it doesn't squeak."
I don't remember that at all. Yeah.
It's the bit with the gate. Oh, that's how you know you're in the anchored reality.
There couldn't be two there.
In their particular, their reality. David Moores, I might be misinterpreting this, but he says his dream is a Moog turned into a camper or a Routemaster bus. But to me, a Moog is a synthesizer. So I'm not sure what that means.
Isn't that one of those sort of all-terrain 4x4s?
No, to me, a Moog is a synthesizer. So
yeah.
Carl says it was John Rhys Davies was the older character.
John Rhys Davies, there you go. Bad date, Cindy.
Yeah, it makes me think of Mel Smith.
Yeah. The thing is, imagine being John Rhys Davies. You've got this illustrious career with lots of things you've done, and all everybody thinks is bad dates, Indy. That's all you ever think. You must be like, yeah. Get out of your system.
Spruikle Addict says my neighbour has a mint condition MG Maestro in his garage with only 44,000 miles. Yeah, it's probably there because he can't get it started.
Yeah, he can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Vincent says Opel Manta A1900S because no weight above the rear axle in a rear-wheel drive car is fun. Mantas are kind of interesting. I do like Mantas.
Yeah, wasn't it? There was one car. I think it was the. I think it was something like the Cortina or about that era where you had to put like 2 paving stones up in the boot just to keep it from spinning out.
Days, having the golden age of cars. Andrew Leary says, new to model making and picked up the Tamiya Challenger kit from yourselves, from eModels. Having great fun, and the YouTube series has saved me a lot of pain. Thank you. That was Tony's, wasn't it?
Tony did the Challenger.
The one in the Berlin camo, wasn't it? I think. Glad you're enjoying it. Glad it was helpful. That's what we did.
I did the Challenger tank.
Did you?
Yeah. I forget what I did now.
I was actually trying to think the other day because I found a couple of rattle cans of Tamiya AS16. I'm like, I got these for an eModels build, but which one was it? I'm thinking, well, I did that. I did the van, and then I did this, and I thought I can't remember. And then I thought, hang on, no, I did a 3 foot long Eagle transporter that I completely forgot about. My memory's terrible.
I've just looked up sliders. There were 87 episodes.
87.
The Crying Man was in 87 episodes.
Yep. I don't know why I remember the Crying Man. I can't remember his name. I remember Crying Man.
Rembrandt Brown.
That's it.
Crying Man was his sort of character name. Quinn Mallory was the other guy who was in 70 episodes. So, yes, he did disappear at some point.
What was the actor's name?
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell, that's right. The funny thing is with the Crying Man, if you've played Fallout 3, there's a bit where you have to go and deal with these slavers. And there's a guy that runs these slavers, and you can either side with the slavers or free all slaves. And there's a guy in there that's got a suit, and it always reminds me of Rembrandt Brown from Sliders.
Spruce Glue says, "Can we pause for 2 minutes while it goes for a brew?" Yeah, we'll just put the. Hang on, I'll just get my potter's wheel out and do some.
I'll do the painting with Nancy music while you. I'll do it badly enough that we don't get hit for copyright. Mark Dale says, nothing's changed. I've got a new German car. You can name it if you want. Other ones are available. That needs some weight in the boot, else it slips on wet grass, let alone snow. The Mafia love those cars. Put weight in the back, you're out. Sweet. Foxx just whistle some pause music. Quinn the Inventor, says Michael Jackerman, supposedly found his home planet had been conquered by the Cro-Mags and stayed to free it. The professor got killed, Wade stayed on a planet, and Rembrandt Brown became the chief character.
There you go.
Yeah. David Moore says Moog. But it's Moog.
Oh, where are we at? I forgot.
I remember actually having an argument with someone once, just on a random side note about synthesizers. I just bought a Moog the Rogue synthesizer, all vintage synth. And I had this standing argument with someone who was saying it's Moog, not Moog. And I'm like, it's Moog. And he went, it's Moog. So in the end, I was like, see that guy there? And he went, yeah, that's Robert A. Moog who invented it. It's Moog. And he went, oh, okay. Yeah. I emailed Robert Moog once, many years ago.
Did you get a reply?
I got a whole conversation with him. Yeah, I was asking him permission to use his logo on something, and he gave me permission.
Oh,
yeah, before he died, obviously. Carl Bloomer always wanted a Bond bug when he was young, but now he's too tall to get him one. I always wanted one because I had a toy one. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I think there's one kicking about town. Orange, aren't they?
I've seen one up your way, actually, occasionally. When we used to go up there was one there, going back years now. I used to drive around. They're actually terrible. They're actually god-awful cars, but they're sweet. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're quite collectible now. As soon as when they were new, nobody wanted one. Nobody would be seen dead in one.
Yeah, but
now everybody wants them.
That's the same as lots of things, isn't it? Eventually they become collectible or worthwhile, and yeah. Andrew says maybe Foxx should make a diorama of a rusty Sierra in a ditch.
In a ditch. My friend rolled a Sierra XR3. Cosworth, sorry. He rolled a Cosworth into a ditch.
Oh, was he nicking it at the time?
No, it was on a track day. He took it on a track day. Totally underestimated the power of the Cosworth. He was like, oh, yeah, I got that wrong. It zigged when it should have zagged. So.
Yeah, the only time where it used to be a thing where if we saw did an attachment to traffic once, and we used to go drive around, and we'd know if somebody had bought a Cosworth because we'd sit at the end of the street during the next week, and we knew it would get nicked.
Yeah. This is why I like having nondescript old cars, because nobody's going to nick an old Ford Fiesta, and nobody's going to nick an old Ford Fiesta with a massive shark mouth down the side of it. So I'm fairly confident. I could leave my car unlocked and it wouldn't get nicked. It just doesn't work at the minute, though. But, hey.
But definitely won't get nicked then.
Hang on, we have a model making question.
Another one.
I know.
Serious. Hang on. Model making question.
Robert Vick says, when you build a model ship, what is the best glue dispenser to get or reduce over gluing? Or the best glue that you use right now?
Yeah. Len Dipple has answered that one. Yeah.
To me, I use 2 glues, assuming it's not a wooden ship kit. You'll find most of us tend to stick to 2 glues. Tamiya Extra Thin, which is the best glue in the world, and Tamiya, what I call fat cement, which is regular Tamiya
Extra thick. Yep.
Yeah, both polystyrene cements. This one's just a normal, it's a bit like, Humbrol poly cement or Revell contact cement. It's just a gloopy contact cement. Tamiya Extra Thin is like water, and it's designed to, this stuff, the fat stuff, you get 2 big flat pieces, you coat them in glue and you go splodge and they stick, and then it welds it a bit. This stuff is a welding cement. It's like water. You put 2 pieces together and then you run the glue along the joint, and it sucks into the joint and it melts the plastic and welds it together. It's one of the strongest polystyrene cements you'll get.
And the glue comes in a little pot that's got a little brush built into the lid.
It does have a little brush in it, but as you get towards the end of the pot, you find it sometimes doesn't reach. You can stretch the brush out a little bit, but I often find that by the time I've got to that stage, the brush falls out anyway.
Everybody knows you can pull the brush out. Nobody learnt that for the first time today.
No.
So I actually just use an ordinary paintbrush to use it, because the paintbrush, the glue brush gets all splayed and goes out of shape.
There are some alternatives to Tamiya Extra Thin. I do have some Plastic Magic from Deluxe, which is very nice. It's basically Tamiya Extra Thin, but it's a little bit thinner. It leaves less. The advantage of the Extra Thin is if you don't want to make a mess when you're squishing things together, because it's very thin and watery, it basically, when it evaporates, all the solvents go away and it just leaves the plastic welded. So if you make a mess on the surface, typically it'll either evaporate away and you won't have a mess, or if there is any mess, you can just sand it very lightly and it goes away. This stuff's even thinner and leaves even less of a mess, and this actually welds most other plastics as well. This just does polystyrene. This will do ABS and other plastics as well. But this takes about 24 hours to cure. That's like 5 minutes. So
yeah, if you're new to it though, you've got to remember that it is very thin and it will run everywhere. So you can sometimes end up with your thumbprint on a model because it runs under your thumb. So
it takes a little while to get used to the idea of putting the pieces together and then applying the glue to the join, and then just pushing them a little bit. Instead of putting glue on either side and sticking them, you just run it into the gap and the capillary action sucks it in. It's amazing stuff. There's also the ammo version, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's...
a couple of people are saying, have you tried ammo thin?
Yeah, I've not used it. I know Tony has used it and he really likes it. Of course, if it's a wooden boat, it's no use to it at all.
yeah. If it's a wooden boat, just ignore everything we just said.
Yeah, Mark Batista 16 says you have to use it with the capillary effect. Yeah, although if you want to be proper cool, you have to call it the caterpillar effect.
Caterpillar effect is true. Yeah.
Caterpillar action.
Pete Rogers asked, "Will it glue Tamiya tracks?" The answer is no.
Nope. That's where
staples.
If you're doing a Tamiya track like the rubber one, like Ted says, put them together, staple them. Where you can't see them because it's covered by what's the thing down the side of the tracks?
Hide it under a wheel or under the track guard or anything.
Super DJ says, "Can you see me?" Well, we can see your text. We can't see you personally.
We don't tell people we can't see them.
Oh, we can see we're watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see everything.
Put down that sandwich.
We all have the all-seeing eye. Apparently, I'm getting a bit of noise on my microphone. Can you all hear like a lot of background noise from me or something?
No.
Just my.
Should we be quiet and see if we can hear it? Here now, we're moving it around.
Well, I kind of do it. Yeah, I know now. It's just my little green lights are flashing even when the microphone's turned off, which is very strange.
Well,
aliens.
You've got a little green. Oh yeah, I've got some little green lights as well. I'd never noticed them before.
Yeah, we've all got green lights when we're talking.
Yeah, rubber tracks, stapling's the easiest way. You are supposed to actually get a heated screwdriver and melt the little nub, put the nub through the hole and melt it into a mushroom shape. But a staple will work just as well. If it's got a track guard, so you can hide it under that. If it's exposed tracks, put it underneath where you can't see, where it's going to be on the
Yeah. In my youth, I tried the old heated stick and squashing it up. All you end up doing is melting right through the track and making a right mess of it.
I was all right at it when I was a young lad. I did okay.
I think you used
Jones says, hi, Fox's mum. I can hear her downstairs, so I know mum's watching on her iPad.
Hello. Michael Adams says, "Yo, I'm back." I didn't notice you went. Sorry.
Oh, Spoogler Addicts is giving thumbs down, but I don't know why. I think people are talking about football again, which we try to encourage.
Oh.
Smooth says GS Hypo will glue rubber tracks. Andrew Leary says the staple solution for the tracks works perfectly. Also found out the MIG's glue doesn't fog canopy, says Macrotista.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that. Even Terry says it doesn't tend to fog clear parts much. I'm being interfered with.
Yes, we are. I can see it.
Oh.
I think you have to move your door further away from your chair, though, because.
Hello, Fox's mum. Sprooglue says hello, mummy.
Hello.
Oh, I catch spiders in that thing.
Yeah, sometimes they escape.
Yeah, they do. Yes, apparently the MIG extra thin glue is good for canopies. It doesn't fog them up. I've never experienced that. I know Tony's used it on a helicopter and it didn't seem to fog it up.
Vamp says BSI gold with black cap is made for clear parts.
Okay.
Don't know what that is. So.
Don't know what that is either. Yeah, if you're familiar with clear parts, a lot of times there's not really many glues you can use on clear parts apart from things like either canopy glue or PVA glue, which canopy glue is basically PVA glue thinned, because they don't give off any vapors that fog up the clear part. That's if you use super glue, it fogs up the clear part as the vapor gases off. If you use polystyrene cement, it does the same thing. It clouds it and fogs it. But
that's how they found that you can obtain fingerprints from items by subjecting them to.
Yeah, I've seen CSI.
Smooth says the MIG stuff can fog. It's acetone based, same as extra thin. I must admit, I was always a bit skeptical about the old. It won't fog up clear parts because it's still a flashing off solvent. So.
Yeah. Do you really want to take that chance when?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't on a test pig.
When usually the canopy is the last thing to go on, and you're going to glue it on. Do you want to take that chance now?
I mean, I've always found that if it's going to be a shelf queen, it's going to sit in a cabinet. Just a bit of PVA or canopy glue, like I said, which is just thin PVA. It's fine. It'll hold it in place. You're not going to be playing with it. So if it's a display queen on a shelf, it's absolutely fine. And if over time the PVA does degrade and lose its stick, you just pop it off, take the glue off, and reapply it.
Super DJ says, Ted, I'm almost done with my U-boat, but I need your guide sense for the finishing touches. When are you going to do another video?
Oh, what? Hang on a minute. Somebody's nearly finished the U-boat. Wow.
You can build it in less than 2 years.
Yeah, Super DJ, send me a video. How have you done it?
In fact, you send all the videos that Ted hasn't done yet, and he'll post them up on the eModels channel.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get some done. Yeah,
I think Ted's waiting for me to do my little chibi U-boat.
Yeah, I'm waiting for ideas.
Yeah, Ted, you need about 18 tubes of Starship filth. I'll need like half.
To be honest, it's just not the same anymore. Whereas in the old house, I used to just walk out the back kitchen door and into the garage, and there it was all set out in front of me. Now I've got to set everything up and sort of start gluing it and put it all together. So it's just taking a bit of fun out of it, or the impulse to go and get it done. But yeah, or something else happens. Yeah. So yeah,
you've got a bit of a construction project for the moment, haven't you? And then what's your? So you've got your ladder for your attic.
Yeah.
Cave. What's the plan for it? How much space have you got inside? What's your plan for inside?
Yeah, well, I've almost got. Well, you can't see. I've always got this big room. Yeah, is
it like standing up, walking around, or is it crouching?
Apparently, it's locked on Foxx, but it might just be because Foxx is doing all the talking.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not sure. No, people are definitely saying it's locked on Foxx.
I've locked it on Chris. Now I'll lock it on Ted. I did lock it on Ted because he was talking, but
yeah. The loft is big enough to walk around in and things like that. Yeah, it's. Big space up there. So
Dad says he's up to the crew quarters at the moment. Do you have to do it all in a particular order, or because
well, you don't have to build it in a particular order. You can build it in sections, as any section you want, because it all built in sections. But the instructions show it coming from forward to aft, so you work your way back,
right.
and then you put everything in the submarine. But there's nothing to stop you building the engine room first.
So if he's up to the crew quarters, where's that? Is that near the front or the back?
Yeah, it's near the front. It's just before. No, I think it's just after the control room.
So he's getting on quicker.
Yeah, but there's the officers' quarters at the front, then the control room, and then the crew's quarters. I think that's the way it's going. But don't worry. Things I do keep meaning to get round to filming you some more.
The camera does seem to be sticking on me at my end, so I'll just manually ride the camera controls when you guys are talking.
Yeah, I doing a stream on my channel a couple of weeks back, and it just seemed to randomly stop auto switching. So yeah, it makes it for an interesting time when you're trying to manage it.
I shall, as the old sound mixing guys would say, I shall ride the sliders.
Okay, so if I start talking, you'll click on me.
Yep, and then when I start talking, I'll click on me, and then I'll forget, and I'll leave it off. I've turned off the lock now. We'll see if it's on me. So if it stays on me, people in chat say if it stays on me. If it doesn't, then I don't have to worry about it. It's just my end that's stuck.
It'll probably stay on you because you talk too much.
There is.
When I say too much, I don't mean too much. I mean not enough. Because the more you talk, the less we have to talk. And it's great.
Fine. For some reason, somebody said Captain Sprue Glue said Captain Caveman.
Yeah, Sprue Glue's just been saying random thing. I think he wants us to talk more about TV and less about models.
Yeah,
because he's been Battle of the Planets a little while ago.
Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman.
Yeah, Chorton and the Wheelies, Battle of the Planets.
Crystal Caveman. There's an old one. Fox, if your microphone is activating all the time, it will stay locked on you. I don't know if it is, because if I turn my microphone off...
and then we talk.
I don't want to talk.
No, we flashing green lights on the Hangout. There's an issue, I think.
Ooh.
I just had a realization of something. Hang on.
Are you playing things in the background?
No, I've got the volume turned up all the way.
Lynn
says Johnny Quest.
I don't know Johnny Quest.
That's an American thing, though, isn't it?
That's very American. Yeah, it's something we didn't import over here.
Yeah.
Go back to the Hair Bear Bunch. Yeah, I do remember the Hair Bear Bunch.
I remember the Hair Bear Bunch with the invisible hairbag. No, the invisible car. The Hair Bear Bunch car.
Yeah.
Come just after Dick Dastardly and Muttley and the Wacky Races, didn't it?
Blake 7.
Blake 7. Blake 7.
Banana Splits, that was the one I was thinking of, yeah.
I don't remember the Funky Phantom either.
No, that doesn't sound familiar to me.
Is that an American one as well, perhaps?
Which one was that one? The Funky Phantom? I don't remember the Funky Phantom.
Different Strokes, no. Wasn't it at all?
I remember Different Strokes.
Different Strokes,
yeah.
What are you talking about, Willis? That wasn't a cartoon, though.
No.
Vamp says it's the same stuff women use for removing nail paint. No, we're going back to models again. Don't stop now. No, we're just getting into the TV.
Stuart Bellingham says Danger Mouse. If you like old original Danger Mouse, you have to watch the new modern Danger Mouse, because it's only when you watch the modern Danger Mouse you realise how bad the original Danger Mouse was actually drawn. Because I had fun memories of Danger Mouse, and and then I watched the modern one, and then I went back and watched the old one and thought, holy cow, it was so badly drawn. It was terrible.
Yeah, but it wasn't about the drawing, it was about the humour.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely about the humour.
Where are we up to? Pink Panther. Now, do you mean Pink Panther as in the cartoon or Pink Panther as in the film?
Cartoon, obviously.
Cartoon. Count Dracula.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Faster than whom and I. Hong Kong Phooey. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I remember that. That's a 90s cartoon.
I don't know that one. No.
It was basically a cowardly dog called Courage. That's hard to explain.
Rhubarb and custard.
Super DJ asks, are you guys going to build another 1/16 scale tank? Ted?
Not in the foreseeable future. No. The great mods to build, but I've done one. I don't particularly want to do another one just yet, unless there's something really good out there. But not just yet.
It's about 10 times too big for me.
Yeah, I mean, Ted's the tank dude, and Yeah, once you've done well, I think what Ted will do once he's finished his U-boat is not do a massive model next time.
Yeah, I want to do something quick and just get my teeth into it, get it built, film it, build it, get on with the next one. Yeah. Wow.
So Ted going forward will be the guy that does all the egg planes and chibi tanks.
Yeah. Sprugru says, "Why are we talking about TV on a modelling show?"
Because we can.
I know someone kept putting titles of TV shows in the chat, and we're just reading them out because.
Somebody mentioned Serious Cities of Gold, which I vaguely remember, only because there was a character called Esteban. I'd never heard the name Esteban before. But somebody does mention D'Artagnan, which the first series was fantastic. The second series was awful.
Was there more than one series?
There was one that did a few years later, which was god awful.
Oh, right. I don't remember that. We were talking about the Musketeers at work the other day and trying to figure out how many films there had actually been called The Three Musketeers and various things.
Awesome.
There's lots.
I mean, that D'Artagnan series is one of those ones that seemed to go on for like years and years.
Yeah, but again, I was expecting there were probably like 20 episodes or something.
Yeah, but it just seemed to go on for weeks and weeks and months and months and forever.
I'll find out.
It was the first thing that introduced me to the manga tradition, the Japanese tradition of having like a bad guy who has a little shine in his eye that goes, so you know he's a bad guy. That's how you know in anime that there's a guy's a bad guy because there's a shine in his eye that makes a noise. Actually, the sound effect called eye shine. So, yes.
David Miller mentions the mouse with interior, and then Sergeant Bond says the mouse with interior is just way too expensive. I didn't know there was one.
Isn't the mouse the tank's like the size of the entire building?
If it's 1/16, it's going to be huge. You can live in it.
Isn't that the size of a normal tank?
It's going to be about the size of an average mini car or something.
1/16 scale mouse, that's insane.
According to the Internet Movie Database, D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds, there were 26 episodes.
Really? It seems like there were a lot more episodes going on for months.
But yeah, no, that was it apparently.
That sounds far like there should be a lot more than that. I've now got the theme tune in my head anyway.
Yeah, with the barking. Yeah.
It's a memory for bad tunes. It's in my head.
Dear.
Vincent says it's 1/35th, Ted. That's still plenty big for the mouse.
Oh, that's all right then.
1/16th, that with the size of a normal tank.
Travis Thompson says, "Do you feel the need to buy the same types from different companies, all the different tigers and panthers on offer, or just the one that you feel is the best?"
I have not. I've seen recently on Facebooks and things, but some people are comparing one tank from one manufacturer to the same tank from another manufacturer, and there are differences. Sometimes there's differences in size. And some of them are quite noticeable difference in size. Now, whether that's because of better research or just more accurate building, I don't know. But I think once they're all painted up, once built and painted up, I don't think you're going to notice that much difference. I think I would probably go for the one that's better detailed. If I had the two, they're both the same price, two different companies, I would go with one that's got more detail on it.
But you're not fixated on any particular company, or
no, I don't.
It doesn't have to be a Tamiya tank, or
yeah, I know that some people do build. They'll build nothing else but Tamiya and things like that. But I think it's good to sort of spread your wings a little bit and take in different manufacturers and see how they build. And some tank manufacturers will go into better detail, greater depth, put more accessories with it or anything like that. So I wouldn't stick to one manufacturer.
I think going back in the old days when they had all the good cars and the best television, if you were looking at making armor, your choices were Tamiya, Airfix, kind of it, maybe a Teleri. This is going back to the 70s and 80s, and out of those three, you were kind of looking at Tamiya as the best, the most accurately researched, the best made, the best produced, the nicest molds, the best plastic to work with, and all the details. They were just kind of
the most interesting art on the box.
Yeah, the awesome artwork. And that was kind of it. If you wanted to make good armor models, you wouldn't go anywhere near Airfix or a Teleri or anybody like that. You just go straight for Tamiya because that was the high quality stuff. Nowadays, it's totally different. You've got People like Meng and Tacom and Ryfield. I've got a Ryfield tank there.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Brands like that where you're getting hundreds and hundreds of parts, you're getting photo etch and all this kind of stuff in the kits. And Tamiya are actually paying catch up with the big boys now, because they were kind of slow to. They counted on their big, massive library of kits, but they were slow to get into the modern trend of having lots of other things as well as multi-material kits. And they kind of catch up, and now you're sport for choice. If you want quality, there's so many different brands. It's really you're looking at different manufacturers that do different things. Like Ted's saying, one might do an interior, one might not. One might do different angles and aspects of it. So it's kind of sport for choice now. There's no reason to stick to one manufacturer because they're all kind of good.
Yeah, I think what you've got to watch out for as well is that some companies now are just upping the part count because they can. Right, instead of molding a tank barrel in one part, they'll mold it in 2 parts, so that's 2 parts they can put in the kit, just to get the parts count up. So you're buying a kit of a Panther tank that might have 2,000 parts. Another kit will be 500 parts, because the 500 part one could be better detailed. It's just that they haven't split everything in 2 for like the other kit has. Just got to be conscious that some of them will just put the part count up so you think you get a better model.
Yeah, and Vincent as well, Mr. Lowe says, Tamiya seems to be focusing their aftermarket. I'll start that again, hang on. Tamiya seems to be focusing after the market most on their cars and bikes, but the stuff coming out on other kits as well, bit by bit. And that is the case. Tamiya have always had a more of a weight on they've always been known for their motorbikes, their fancy cars, and the military miniatures range. And I think the military miniatures range is the one that's slowly starting to catch up with their competitors who are more recent companies. Whereas they've always had, they've been a prestige brand for the cars and the motorbikes. The motorbikes probably mostly is what they're known for. So, but yeah, they are catching up slowly with some of the newer companies.
Now Makista comes up with a comment there. He says he's waiting for a Sherman with a full interior. Now I'm sure that when I was a kid,
you mentioned this before.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
I'm sure there was a Sherman with an interior. Maybe not a full interior. Maybe it was just the turret bin. But I'm sure that at one time Tamiya had a Sherman tank with an interior to it.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, that we've asked people what was it, because you
don't remember if anybody actually found it. I think I came up with something and said that there was this that was a partial interior, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was a full interior. It didn't have the driver's sort of section and the engine and things like that, but it has the turret bin and everything else.
It's a Davik. It says, "Hi, I want to start model kit, but I don't have any idea about painting." Well, you come to the right place. The eModels YouTube channel has got dozens, hundreds, maybe hundreds, lots of videos of us and others making kits and painting them and going through step by step and how to do it. Have a look.
Yeah. If you're just starting out in model making, the one bit of guidance that we give everybody is don't get too hung up on what should I build. Just find something that you think you would like to build. Look at something and think, I like the look of that tank, I'll build that. It's something that's interesting to you. If you can look at something and think, oh, that's cool, be it a plane or a boat or a tank or sci-fi or whatever, go for something that's a subject matter that interests you. And don't worry too much about getting it spot on and perfect for your first ever build. Just have fun with it. All these things take time. There are lots of video builds on like Chris says on the YouTube channel. We've got motorbike, we've got an Eagle transporter, we've got Ted's massive 1/16 scale tank, we've got silly little Warhammer conversions. There's lots of different builds. We've got planes and all kinds of sorts, and they're all done as tutorials, so they take you step by step and show you how they did it. So there's tons of stuff on there. Have fun with the playlist.
Yeah, and we're here each Monday night, or if we're not here, if it's another day in the week, you can always send us a question to ted@emodels.co.uk, and we'll try and answer that. But yeah, there's lots of Facebook groups out there. There's the eModels Facebook group. There's our own sites as well. So you can come and have a look. Never be stuck. Never be afraid to ask a question.
Yeah. Stephen Rolfe says, I've learned so much about my weakness of paint from this channel. Keep up, guys.
Andrew Leary's got a question, which is a good question. I like this one. Why don't eModels do a kit with all the paints needed as an online option? Now, I know there are kits that are like starter kit that comes with 3 or 4 paints or whatever, but it would be a good idea to have, if you buy this kit, then you may also need this selection of 10, 15, 20 paints and things to go with it. The problem with doing that is on the outside of the box, you don't know exactly what you need most of the time. You need to go through and look through the instructions and everything. So logistically, for them to do that for every kit that they sell is just not reasonable.
Yeah, it's going to need more than one person in a full-time job to sit down and work out the paints for every model. Then it's depending, like, whether you want Humbrol paints, whether you want MIG paints, whether you want AK paints. It's a nice idea, but it's not really feasible. Maybe there is a site out there somewhere that will say, or maybe if somebody wants to come up with an idea and start their own website to say that I've got the Trumpeter Panzer tank, what kits do I need? So you can Google it, or the whole list of there.
The thing to keep in mind as well is it's not just a case of, they could set up a set and say, here's this kit and here's all the paints you need to paint it, but they might be Tamiya paints and you might want to use Vallejo paints, or you might want to use lacquers, or you might want to use something else, alkalies or something else.
Or if it's not the first kit you've built, you've probably got half of them already.
Yeah, and the other thing to be aware of as well is you might say, here's this tank kit and here's the 10 colours you need. If you're going to paint it one of these colour schemes, it's actually got 6 different options. So then you've got, most things have different. It's a really nice idea, but I think for a retailer to do it, it's not really a viable option. It's something that a manufacturer might do if they manufacture the kit and the paint. But in terms of Citadel do the kits and the paints, Games Workshop do their own stuff, so obviously they have all that. Other manufacturers like Revell do kits and Airfix kits with some paints. These are the starter kits. They've got the little sort of simple pots of paints, but often when the manufacturers will do that. But for retailers to do it, it's kind of a lot of legwork. That it seems like a nice idea, but when you think logically about how you'd actually do it, it becomes just a living nightmare.
Just going down to the bottom there before we go back up, Dennis Hack says, for Revell kits, you can look at the build manual online before you buy. It will show all the paints you need. Revell is the only paint manufacturer, the only kit manufacturer I know that when it comes to paint will tell you to mix colours, 60% this colour, 5% this colour, 45% this colour, etc., rather than just saying except 5.
Well, you get that on Tamiya sometimes, and you get it on Bandai a lot. Bandai don't make paint, so they often say use Krios GSI or Mr. Colour or something like that. But yeah, Revell do that quite a lot.
The Edward MIG that I've got there, one of the interior colour was, it said, this 60% and this 5%, and so yeah, it does happen.
Ted, question for you.
I'm assuming Ted's seen it because he's moved it.
Somebody saying, is that the toon tank behind it? Yes, it is. Just get it on screen there. Yeah, it's the toon tank. It's the one we built over Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a Christmas live stream where the 3 of us basically had 4 or 5 hours to build paint the tank.
No, we had 4 hours.
Don't start with that.
Yeah, I can now get the turret to turn on the tracks.
I haven't tried mine yet because I'll probably break it. So just trying it. I'll get mine out of the cupboard though.
Great little build. If you want to spend a couple of hours in the afternoon, well, we could build these in 4 hours.
Yeah, built in 4 hours. That was
the 4 hours in a bit if you're building the one that Foxx.
I'll just leave it locked on me if you're going to keep to saying it. Go on, let's see yours, Chris.
Oh, there you go. That's the better one, the best one of the 3.
Yeah, we just spent 4 hours bitching because Chris had the best of the 3.
This is the Firefly variant, which has got extra canvas bags and things and wooden logs piled up onto the back of it. So
yeah, yours got all the extra details that ours didn't.
So next Christmas, Foxx and I will build some tanks, and Chris can be the chat dolly again.
I'll just be demoted again. I had the first year I did it, I was in charge of the chat, and then you let me build a tank, and now you're not going to let me do it again.
No, because not if you choose the best one. But the good thing is though, with mine and Ted's, Chris doesn't do this, but with mine and Ted's, they're like rocking horses.
Yeah, they rock. Okay.
But Chris's doesn't because it's got the big long gun on the front.
It sort of does, but it
No,
Oh, it does it a bit. It does
does it a bit. Yeah,
quite cute, adorable. Where's that one? It's just like ours are much more adorable.
Stephen Roll said he missed the stream. Turkey and beer got in the way, but it's still there for your delectations and deliberations.
Sprue says Chris is the winner chicken dinner.
Yeah. Michael Jackman says, knock at the door. What's his store? Time. Time. You had the perfect rhyme then. You had a time on the end. Really.
Yeah, people are starting to clock watch now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's very, very strange. We'd have to start mixing it up and doing it at different times because.
Brit says that he still says that my tank is best because Cadia.
Yeah, but Sergeant Bones says Cadia fell. Team Chris.
No, shut up.
We did ask. There was a competition to win a kit or two kits, where we got you to comment on the video as to which one you thought was best, and I got more votes than anybody.
Yes, you did. Only because your kit was better than ours. That's why. Because you had the kit with all the extra bling, and we didn't have any.
Yeah.
Yes. Shall we do a what's in store then?
Should we do a what's in store?
Right, Foxx in store, this isn't week, isn't it?
Yeah, have you looked on you, Fox?
I've looked it on me because I'm in charge this week. You've got
the buttons this week.
Oh yeah. Now, as always, we're going to do the theme. There's a theme to tonight's what's in store, and if you guess the theme correctly, you win yourself a big Mr. E sticker. Now, remember, there'll be a theme running through all the items. You need to put down what you think the theme is in chat, but don't put it down in chat until we say, what's the theme, go at the end. Because if you answer before we say go, we'll just ignore your answer. And you'll just be telling everybody else what you think the answer is. And if you're right, they'll all get it when we say go, and you'll miss out.
Yeah, can I take part this week? Because I haven't had a look. I don't know what they are this week.
Well, you say that, but we don't know that, do we?
I had a look, but I might have guessed it as well. We do need to make sure people are refreshed, because if you paused it to go and make a sandwich a little while ago and then came back, you're not watching live. Yeah. So make sure you've refreshed and dragged it over to the live side of the channel. Yeah. And
we like to say refresh and drag, or that way, refresh and drag.
I can't tell which way. You're not reversed, so you're probably right that way.
Refresh and drag. It's like some kind of airline instructions to refresh.
People are already trying to send the questions in to Dynasty, Pizza, Dunkel Gill.
If you answer before we say go, you won't be eligible. So anyway, I shall share the screen and we shall reveal the first of the items. If I can find it. There we go. Okay, so there is the theme, remember. So we're assuming you've all refreshed and dragged. So, first thing we have up today is big-ass truck. It's the Italeri 135th M923 Hillbilly Gun Truck. Now, I was going through trying to figure out what the theme would be, and I just saw the phrase Hillbilly Gun Truck. I was like, I'm having that. There you go. That'll do. That's the first tonight. It's basically the classic M923 military truck done up as a hillbilly gun truck, because of course it is. Let's have a look at the decals.
I've just tried to click on it and enlarge it.
I do that all the time. So there's a few nice bits and bobs on there. It's actually still a military vehicle because it's still got military markings. PFC Hung and SPC Curry. I've seen that name before, SPC Curry, on some models. I wonder if these are actual. I always wonder when you get names like this on vehicles, are the actual names that on the vehicle they use for reference? So that's actually a real person, or is it just made up? I do wonder that sometimes. And let's have a look. We've just got pictures of the box, unfortunately. No picture of the actual kit. It does say the medium cargo truck of the 5-ton category is representative of today's generation of logistical vehicles to the US forces. Really, it looks kind of 1950s to me. Strange. It's characteristic because of his large off-road tires, which have earned it the nickname Bigfoot. There's information there. It's a classic Vietnam, Korean War military American truck. You still see them around today, and I like the look of that. So that is the first in today's theme, is the big M923 Hillbilly Gun Truck. A good weekend project for weathering, and only a steal at 22 quid. Nice big kit for you.
Yeah.
What's next? Next we have the AMT 132nd Captain America Ford F-150 monster truck. Now, I'm not a big fan of American pickups and trucks because they're just ugly. I've just alienated all the Americans watching, but they are ugly. Just to be honest. However, you make it into a monster truck, it becomes awesome. So there you go. And we have to say, it's got even though I hate Marvel, it's got the proper vintage 1970s Marvel Captain America on the front. So we like that. So again, nice little Weco. It's not a remote control model. It's just a fun F-150 monster truck. It's a snap it plastic kit. So you don't have to glue it, but you can add more details and add more fun with it if you want to. Highly detailed plastic pieces, low parts count for fun and easy assembly, wheels roll, colourful sticker sheet, illustrated instructions. So a good, fun weekend build, especially if you've got a younger son or daughter who is getting into modelling. It's a great little thing to try and get them into it because it looks kick-ass and it's fun and easy to build. So it's always worth considering these kind of things just for the younger builders. Try and get them into the hobby. If you've got your young son or daughter and you want to get them into model making, don't start them off with a 1/35 Meng tank with photo etch. It's not going to happen.
No, start with the Dora.
Start them with a 1/35 Dora.
Yeah, get something big so they can do what
You've got to start them off young on the Dora so they've got time to finish it before they die.
Yeah, if it's big as well, they won't lose parts and the carpet is easy.
Now, keep in mind as well, while we're going through this what's in store, as well as trying to figure out what the theme is, if any of these tickle your fancy, then what you need to do is, Ted,
slap it in your basket.
There you go, good girl. Get it in your basket, but don't forget, if something's in your basket, you don't own it until you've paid for it. So while you're watching the show, have a separate tab open with your basket and go through, pick up whatever you want, and make sure to check out before the end of the show, because we don't know how many of these things they have in stock. And if you decide you want to say pick this up, you put it in your basket, you wait till the end of the show, you put the order through, and it's suddenly not in stock because 3 other people have bought it. And
it's just like if you're in Tesco's, if you put it in your basket, someone else can come and take it out of your basket.
Yeah, but the less
likely until there's been cash money happening, it's not yours. So if you do want to pick something up, do it there and then. And keep in mind as well, as it says at the top here, if you order in the next 2 hours and 51 minutes, you'll get next day delivery. So there you go. Yeah. See, that's facts. Fact bombing.
So it's not yours till you check it out.
Yeah, there you go. So slap it in your basket and check it out. So a fun little weekend build for your younger builders there, or even for your advanced builders who can do some kick-ass painting on it. What's next? Next we have the talking of egg planes, the Hasegawa North American P-51D Mustang egg plane number 7. I love egg planes. There's no other photographs of it, unfortunately.
That's not the one that's got the dog flying it, though, is it?
No, it's not the one with the dog flying it, but it will look just like that. It will look just like that. So
yeah, Skylar's got one, but we need to get around to finishing it. And she's got a jet. But cute little things there, brilliant little things.
They're simple. They're not complicated builds.
They are glued together though. They're not clipped together like the Toon tanks. They glue these together.
Yeah.
Lynn does make a point saying next day delivery to the US. Wow. I don't think the next day delivery applies worldwide. They do deliver worldwide, but not necessarily next day.
Yeah, next day delivery in the UK. Obs. But yeah, these are they're dead simple little kits. They're totally adorable. And you can go all realistic on them. You don't have to sort of make them silly paintings. You can go all completely realistic. So you can basically get a nice little, adorable little plane for a tenner. But you can go all realistic on it. They've got massive canopies as well, which is great for nice clear parts. They're just great fun. So if you've got a younger builder again, but you maybe want to start them off on a bit more advanced than just a push together thing, put them up through these because they're adorable. What's next? Next we have, okay, we're going to do a couple of special treat builds next. I need to clear my throat 1 second.
That's right. While you're doing that, Lord Barkley says that he normally eats it as he walks around so people can't take it out of his basket.
Yes.
Travis says, who takes food out of someone's basket? And Barkley says, I put cuddly toys in people's trolleys.
Yeah. With the eModels site, if you take something out of somebody else's basket, you're less likely to end up with a bloody nose as you would do in Tesco.
Yeah, there's a bit of a distance thing going on there. Yeah. Right, now the next 2 kits, these are you have to give someone the loving eyes and the please, 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 or you need to save up for these because these are a couple of luxury kits coming up now. We like to occasionally put in some of the top end stuff just because, people out there like the top end stuff. Just to give you an idea. So here we go. A couple of good things for you. We have, first of all, the Wingnut Wings. You know you like Wingnut. The 1/32 Felix Toe F2A late version. This thing is massive.
I've not seen that before.
Look at the size of the figure in the pilots, and then it's 1/32 scale.
Wow.
It is the F2A flying boat was probably the most successful flying boat of the First World War. Crew of 5, it was capable of carrying out long-range reconnaissance, anti-submarine, and anti-shipping patrols of up to 10 hours duration. The development was staggeringly convoluted, it says. Let's see what it says about the kit. Or is it just historical? Okay, it's got no blurb about the kit itself. But if you know your wingnut wings, you know it's going to be a fantastic quality kit. It was, let's have a look. It was a Curtis. Where is it? It's essentially an Anglo-American design which can trace its roots to the pre-war Glenn Curtis and Cyril Porte designed 180 horsepower, bless, that's so adorable, 180 horsepower twin-engine America flying boat design. So that's going to be a big chicken when you finished it. Look at this, it's 1/32 scale. So
It's not exactly painted for camouflage, is it?
yeah, it's not exactly subtle.
It's almost a dazzle pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a shame there's no kit pictures on there, but you can obviously do a Google search for kit pictures. But yeah, you're going to spend all year making that, because that is a real treat kit. And look at me, it's going to have so many of the cables and wires and things.
Just look at the rigging. Look at the rigging on that.
Yeah, I mean that would have been made out of like wood and paper, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So yes, that's going to be a real treat, a real 6-month build job. That.
Nicholas C says, waiting for a Star Wars model. You know the one.
Yeah. So yes, that's the 1/32 Felixstowe F2A. If you like your vintage planes, and if you've done a wingnut wings plane, they do specialize in vintage planes and biplanes. They are some fantastic kits. They're some of the best. So that's going to look absolutely incredible on your shelf. Next, this doesn't look like much. It's 1/14 scale.
Wow.
It's the Tamiya 1/14 scale. Just let that sink in for a minute. Grand hauler in matte.
Yeah, that's quite big.
Yeah, it's a shame there's nothing in that photograph to give you the idea of scale, because it's 1/14 scale, which is not far off Action Man size. I know Action Man was 1/6 scale, really, but kind of. It's a special edition of the Grand Hauler. It's a remote control model assembly kit. You can do it up and paint it if you want. However, it comes with a special matte black pre-colored, pre-painted black surface. It says somewhere. It said that somewhere. The body and other key body parts are pre-painted metallic black Tamiya color TS40. Additionally, a matte coating is applied over the metallic black, which provides a cool look as seen in current trends in the automotive scene. So it's not just your usual, it's colored plastic, there you go, you don't have to paint it. It's properly painted and sealed. You can obviously repaint it if you want to. And it is a remote control kit, so $399. It's a real treat kit.
I think there's trailers available for this size.
I was just trying to think how big a trailer would be.
There probably are. It says the model's ladder frame chassis features aluminium side channel with resin cross members and is equipped with a highly realistic suspension utilizing metal leaf springs and friction dampers. Oh, that's just technical porn, that is. Front-mounted motor and 3-speed transmission power. The 2 rear wheel axles, which are fitted with built-in differential. I don't know what any of this means. Enable smooth cornering, and a 4-channel remote control system and multifunction unit allow you to drive the vehicle, experience realistic lights, sounds, and vibrations. I don't know how that bit works. That's just, it's like the vibrating road roller, isn't it? It's that joke all over again. So yeah, the 1/14 scale Grand Hauler. So a couple of very expensive but real treat kits for some of the connoisseurs out there. We like to do some of the luxury stuff every now and then.
Yeah, well, Smooth says it's a wee bit bigger than the 1/16 Peterbilt he's doing. It'll be a big beastie.
Yeah, I mean, that Peterbilt that Smooth's doing is huge.
Philly says the 1/24 took up plenty of shelf space. So,
so imagine. I mean, this is obviously it's remote control as well, so it's so you're not going to get an interior on that. It's going to have. I think it's just got the black windows, but look at the size of that. That's just insane.
I know that you can get the sound chips and everything for these, and you can hear the air brakes release and sort of
the engine. Like realistic firing action for the turret and everything, you know. Oh, that joke died. Moving on. Anyway, one last one. We're going to go back down to back away from the prestige end of the market, and we're going to have a look at Italeri's Statue of Liberty. Usual market for you. Not often you get architectural models, but this is World Architecture model. It's 15 quid. It's the Statue of Liberté. It'd be a really good. There's not really much I can say about it. It's a model of the Statue of Liberty. It looks like the Statue of Liberty. It would be a good way to practice your corroded copper look, your verdigris effects, because it is essentially copper, the actual statue. I think it is, isn't it?
I believe so.
My son's just been to New York. He went to see the Statue of Liberty. He flew all the way out to see the Statue of Liberty. It was shut.
Brilliant. But did you go over, like in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Because it's federal closed down. That's why the government. Yeah,
Trump's closed everything down. The ferries weren't running to
I'm pretty sure you can still see it though, can't you? Because it's quite big.
It was over there.
A broken chain. I didn't know this. A broken chain lies at her feet. The statue is an icon of freedom and one of the United States, and is a welcoming sight to immigrants arriving from abroad. Once,
yeah, but it's always something that gets blown up on sci-fi films, isn't it?
Of course, that in the White House.
Yeah, when aliens attack.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, because we can actually see the model this time, because it is that kind of classic verdigris color. But if I remember correctly, isn't it actually copper? And that's just the
Smooth says it's copper plated.
Copper plated, because that's what gives it that distinctive green color. I think it's not actually. That's what happens to copper after a time.
Yeah, I've not seen any pictures of it, as in, you know, when it was new, it being copper coloured. It's always been that sort of greeny bluey.
Well, they could have been clever and painted it that colour so you can't see the verdigris corrosion on it.
Yeah, Lynn's in here somewhere. She must know all about it. She's
American. She'll know all the facts about it.
She know all about it.
It's because all Americans know about the Statue of Liberty.
Andrew says the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French. There's a smaller one in Paris.
Yep. It was built by Gustave Eiffel, who built the Eiffel Tower.
Lorna's in. Hi, guys. Better late than never. Yeah, just as we're about to finish.
Who was in?
We've done what's in store, but I hope you can still take part.
Yep.
You could guess.
Yeah.
It was designed by Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi and built by Gustave Eiffel, and dedicated on 28th of October 1886. Yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's a funny little thing to end on, but why not? Bit of fun. So I shall stop doing the screen sharings. I shall lock it back on there, and I shall stop screen sharing. There you go. We are returned. So it just remains for me to say there was a theme through all of those. Remember, if you fancied any of those, get them in your basket, Ted.
Slap it in your basket. Sorry, I was typing my answer in.
Get it checked out as quick as you can. But there was a theme, so here we go. I've not said go yet, so if anybody's typed anything, it's going to be.
I was too early.
You're too soon. So even if it was banjos,
theme from tonight, go.
It's from now.
Yep. Cool. And Jamie Bowen is the first in with America after I said go. Well done, Jamie. You've won yourself a big fat sticker. Other people did answer the same, but the answer
several people peaked too early.
Yes, and it's not network lag if I haven't actually physically said go and people are answering it. I know it's not network lag. So well done, Jamie. You've won yourself a big fat sticker. So just send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk and just say you've won a big Mr. E sticker and include your name and address, and we'll get one sent out to you.
Sporadic says Indigenous Insects of the Outer Hebrides is a link.
Yes, absolutely.
Nearly, very close.
I was torn between America when I was choosing a subject: America, quantum mechanics, or Indigenous Insects of the Outer Hebrides.
Garish painting, says Andrew Leary.
Yeah. See, but that's what we say. You don't answer before we say go, because you just there you go. You see, you might give someone the tip off of what the answer is. Not that it was hard. Don't forget, we still have a bit of a backlog of stickers to send out.
We do. I haven't had a chance to. We'll get the stickers out, Jimmy. I'll include your sticker in this in the pile that we've already got owing you.
Yeah, various at the moment. My car's off the road, and Ted's been tied up doing other stuff, so we haven't had a chance to get. There's a bit of a backlog of stickers, but we have got them. Mugs have been sent out apparently. Mugs are now in stock again.
Yeah, unfortunately, the version 2 mugs. We thought
they don't seem to be any different.
Version 3.
Version 3.
Yeah, maybe they couldn't get the colour right just on our flesh tones.
Might have been it, yeah.
Lynn Dipple has given us some information on the Statue of Liberty, because she's American, obviously knows all about it, in the same way that we all know the Queen. She says, as for the Statue of Liberty, it was copper-plated, and over time, it oxidised. So it is naturally copper colour, but it's gone that verdigris. I love that verdigris colour. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting to paint something verdigris, paint it your coppery colours and then get some Games Workshop lilac oxide. It's a brilliant colour. Fantastic. Guy Sargent says, good evening, everyone, although afternoon where I'm at. Welcome, dude.
Stephen Rolfe says, can I just buy a mug?
You can.
Yes.
Can just buy a mug and no extra charge. Yeah, the guys at eModels will sell you a mug at cost, and they'll even post it for free.
Yep, they charge you exactly what they pay for it. So, yeah. If you didn't win one, but you want one, you just go and buy one. Earl D asks me, Fox, when are you starting the Sazabi? When I finish that?
What's the Sazabi?
So, sort of Wednesday.
Big Master Grade Sazabi. Yes. Right, should we do some...
Michael Jackman says it needs someone to go over it with Duraglit.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Oh,
get a couple of little pots. That'll be fine. Yeah.
yeah. I'd say hammerite actually. Get some of the bronzy hammerite.
What, an airbrush?
Yeah, air hose. What's next? Ted?
I forgot. Yeah, well, should we do a mug then? Jimmy
Boone says, I don't want a mug. Give it to the person after me. You didn't get a mug. You got a sticker. You got a big fat sticker. You can have
I think there is a mug on its way to you, Jimmy, if you haven't already got one, because you were never a mug in the past. So.
I think we said we are going to send you one anyway, so you've got no choice. So
yeah, get it.
Man up, accept the package. But yeah, you want a sticker tonight, so there you go.
Yeah, run out and give it to the nice old man that's passing. Yeah.
Well, make sure it's the right nice old man. It could be the one that sits there and mutters at the bricks. You don't want to talk to the curbstone. Brit says, Fox, you hype for Plastic Sisters. Oh, yeah. I know what that means. These guys don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Don't know what that means. No, you lost me on Sazabi. I thought it was a Japanese dish.
It's kind of sauce.
Right. Yeah, well, you might as well do a mug. Since it's gotten back in stock, we might as well give them all away before they
run out. Yeah.
Don't buy any mugs.
Says, is it true a Mark III mug? No, it's just the original Mark II.
That's not the original. The original was Mark One.
No, it's the Mark II. I think the Mark III was just a rumor to get people hyped.
Yeah, probably it. Yeah.
Mark III has Ted in a bikini if you put tea in it.
Yeah, if you put tea in it, it fades down. So I'm fully clothed and it fades down just as a.
Only for cold drinks.
Yeah, actually, no, I got it wrong. Sorry, if you put tea in it, you get Chris in a bikini. If you put coffee in it, you get me in a bikini. And if you put gin in it, you get Ted in a bikini. But Ted's doing the Princess Leia bikini in his. That's why it's gin. You see, so
yeah.
You'll need a stiff drink anyway. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, just a small bikini.
Yeah.
Now I can't get that out of my mind.
Thanks. Yeah.
Just be grateful you don't know what the Princess Leia is, Ted. It's much worse for the rest.
Nicholas C says, make Mark III mug fake news. Yeah, so there are people out there just spreading these rumours. Right, have we got any questions then?
Do you want to do one, Chris?
I was just going to have a look through and see if we, excuse me, we have questions. We have a few, don't we?
We have a few, yes.
I shall go for the first one I can see that has an answer with it.
Which one are you going for?
I was going to go for the one from Gary Gray.
Yeah, I saw that one.
How do people even know? Just reading what his question answer is, how do people know that?
I don't know, but people do know, and we don't know that it's right. As with all of these questions, we don't fact check, or we just like the look of them, so we answer them. What was this for? This is for a mug, was it?
It's for the mug.
Official mug, right? For the mug.
Remember, refresh your browser and drag the slidey bar.
Yeah, well, they've already done that already.
But, yeah, they've done that anyway.
The original Mark II mug with nothing in it. You have to fill it up yourself, but
accept no substitutes.
It comes empty. You have
it comes empty, yeah, because they did try sending them out full, but they all got Yeah,
the complaints from the post.
So Gary Gray has a question. So I'll ask the question, and then I shall say go, and you can put in the answers, and the first one that gets it correct will win a mug.
This may be a long wait.
Maybe. No, it's no, I'm sure they'll get there. Right. The question is, when were the first tweezers used? Go.
I think
in which year were the first tweezers used?
I think this is an awesome question.
It's a brilliant question. I didn't know what the question was when I clicked on it. But,
they must have been building a Revell kit.
Yeah.
Lord Barkley says 42, and that's quite a long way off.
Yeah.
1709 is also even further off than the 42.
Well, we've had a winner. Yeah, Armed Brit.
Oh yes, I see that. 3000 BC.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Armed Brit. Everyone else can stop guessing now. You can stop now.
Armed Brit is obviously the fastest Googler.
Pete Rogers says I first used them in 1987.
Armed Brit says gangster.
3000 BC. It's when the first moulding of Revell came out. Still using the same mould.
Yeah, it's actually that was when the first Revell Star Wars kits came out.
Yes, so we don't know how they know what they used then, and you know it might have been 3001. I don't know exactly, but yeah,
I think it's probably just
Yeah, but what you've got to ask is, was the carpet or was it straw? So when the part
when the
pinged
part
off,
pinged off, yeah.
yeah. Well done, Arm Brit. All you need to do is send an eModels. No, send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk and say you won a mug and your name and address. We don't send those out, thankfully. We just forward that onto the guys at eModels, and they then get that sent out to you. So.
And Armbrit says, no, I just like history. Egyptian, isn't it?
Egyptian.
So, yeah, that didn't even Google. That's why it's so quick.
Yeah. Kick ass is the phrase we're looking for.
Yeah.
Well done. Are we doing stickers as well? Or just a mug?
We've got a question there for Andrew Leary concerning tweezers. Do any of us use reverse tweezers? Do you know what reverse tweezers are?
Oh, no. They're the ones that... normal tweezers you squeeze to grip, and reverse tweezers you squeeze to release.
Yeah, I've got some here. You just open them up.
I use them as clamps. That's why they're all different colours, because I use them as clamps for spraying.
There's good paint on the end. I occasionally use them. I tend not to.
There you go. I'll join the club with my.
Oh, they're cheap. They're cheap ones.
They are cheap ones, yeah.
Yours are clockmaker type tweezers.
I
don't use them very often because even though they're really handy as clamps, because they're closed by default, they do have more of a habit of pinging things than normal tweezers. Such force and pressure, they go, and your little piece disappears across. So they're good for big things, not so great for tiny little things sometimes. But yeah, they are really handy.
Michael Jackman says, how old is the carpet monster?
Oh, 3,000 years, 3,000
yeah,
BC.
at least 3,000. Yeah.
How old is the carpet? At least.
So do you think that those Egyptians are doing a bit of mummification that they are in the pyramid and things like that? I'll just get this bit out. Ding! There it goes.
Oh, I've only got 2 others. I need 2 more. I've got to have the whole sprue now.
Yeah.
Again. Oh.
Yeah, how do you swear in Egyptian?
It's hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
You just go like that, yeah.
In 2 dimensions sideways. Stephen Ralph says reverse tweezers put his nose hair back. I see what he did there.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Vincent says, got the big ones, and the ones that Chris has, the small ones are good to hold fiddly parts like tools in 1/35 that need painting.
Yeah. A multitude of uses.
Yeah, they are really, really handy. It's just I find them a bit more pingage comes from them. So you've got to be, you can't go too small because they will just go and fly you across the room. Ted started the U-boat back then, says Osric 9000.
I did, yeah. After I chipped a few hieroglyphics off, I'd just do a little bit on the U-boat.
When he started painting it, it was working by rush lights.
Yeah.
Source of heat.
Yeah, I was mixing paint with my own pigments.
There's like, here's some insects, crush them up. It's red. Yes, it's a red one now. Now, Ted, here's a question for you, because I've obviously got to do the little U-boat. I did some researchings when I was doing my big U-boat many, many years ago. And I was trying to figure out the right colour for primer, because I want to have paint chipping on mine, because it's going to be out at sea for 6 months or so, and Tour duty, a lot of the paint just comes straight off. Did you find any alternative colours? Because I found that primers were either red or white, but I didn't find any other typically Kriegsmarine primer colours. You know, in real life, the colours.
Generally, ships would be painted in red oxide, and I would be thinking that during the war, Germany would be using the same manufacturer for everything rather than mixing manufacturers, and they just red oxide everything. Yeah. The primer is not really sort of, well, it's important to get the paint on, stop the rust and things like that. It's more the anti-fouling that would protect the boat, the paint. So yeah,
because I mean, when I was doing my original U-boat, I was thinking, well, I could go historically accurate and go for the red oxide colour, but when you do the paint chipping, it looks really weird.
Yeah, it does. It look a bit bright. I would tend to think that if anything did chip, it would probably go straight down to the metal anyway and just rust. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
they got pretty battered after 6 months at sea.
Yeah, they'd be fairly bad. You can always, any weathering you want to do, I'd just do rust streaks and things like that. Because
get ready with it.
Yeah. But as you say, red would just be a bit stark, really.
Yeah, because I thought about that, but then it's like if I'm doing rust spots, it'll just look like more rust. But I didn't work in my. I know it's realistic. It just didn't work in my brain. So I didn't know if you'd come on.
Especially on that small scale, that chibi size, it would sort of, even a little dot of red would stand out.
I might go for a light grey, perhaps, just to suggest a primer coat underneath. We'll see. We'll see.
No. Right, what are we up to now?
Making models. Carl at Making Models is teaching us some Egyptian. He says in Egyptian, Ibn el-Kalb is son of a dog.
At least he kept it a clean one.
Ibn el-Kalb. That's strangely pronounceable.
Pete Rogers said he rescued a filler cap and handle from the Tamiya 135 jerry can set. Wow.
No, jerry cans.
Jerry cans. Jerry cans.
He says rescued from the carpet monster. Result. I get like flushes and flashes when I think about Tamiya cherry cans because they just drive me nuts.
Right, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Almost a couple of years ago now. Where are we up to? Right, so we need to do sticker sets next. Stickers.
Big and small.
Big and small. I've just dropped that one on the floor, so I'll get them all. Big and small. Big and small. Yeah, we're only sending. We're only doing one posting of stickers this week.
Yeah, are we doing the somebody wins a big and a small again?
Yeah, we're doing a big and a small, so saves me the cost of a stamp.
Yes. So what we'll do is we'll ask the question answer, and you will win a big sticker and a small sticker at the same time.
Just go back to the carpet monster. Ostrix's 9000 says it has laminate floor, so no carpet monster. It makes it worse because you hear it hit the deck. And it's over there somewhere.
Yeah.
And you still can't find it. And you know it's there because you heard it hit the deck.
See, it's a false thing of security because you think I've got laminate floor, so the carpet monster's got no domain here, and he hasn't. The carpet monster will leave. However, if you get a laminate floor, instead you get the vortex of doom.
Yeah, you'll drop it on the laminate floor, and then you'll find it in a completely different room.
Yeah, because it will go ding. You'll hear it go ding, and then it will just vanish into the vortex of doom and either appear in your bathroom, and I've had that happen. I dropped a piece in a bedroom and it ended up in a bathroom. I don't know how, or it will just vanish forever because as soon as it hits the ground, it pings off the floor once and then just disappears.
The ricochet effect.
Well, I've actually glued that back on this evening. The spear that she was holding, her arm and the spear was found downstairs in the kitchen. I have no idea.
Well, I lost part of the sight off. What was I building? I was building a heavy arms Gundam, and I lost the sight off its weapon, off one of its weapons. No, I was building a strike Gundam, and I lost the sight off one of the weapons. No idea where it went. And then just like about 3 days later, by pure fluke, I'd resigned myself that because it was a commission build, I'd have to buy the whole kit just for that one little component. I walked into the bathroom and it was there on the floor, and I'm like, okay. But I was confused.
Or it's just as you finish scratch building the part that you lost that you find it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Smooth says,
buy a whole kit.
Smooth says drop parts usually stick to his underpants.
Ew!
Sticky underpants.
Stop eating bits of plastic.
Sticky underpants.
Lynn Dipple says she put down a green sheet under a desk and a flashlight to find it. Some people like to have like an apron, and they have it attached to the desk. If it falls off the desk, it goes into their apron, which makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah.
Until you forget to unfasten your apron, stand up and pull everything off the bench.
Vincent says he's got a wide seat, tall back racer desk chair, and I'm a skinny bloke, so it all just ends up falling into the cracks between the cushions and side supports. There's an electronic ship in components. There's probably a whole kit in components.
Stephen Rolfe says marble floors are worse. They bounce for hours. Trials of living in Spain. But then, if you can't find a part, you just go lay in the sun, don't you?
Yeah, you can sit at the bar. Pete Rogers says, how often when looking for that small bit do you find other bits you'd lost before? Always. Yeah. I actually
given up looking for.
In my there's only ever been one piece that I never found. And it's most frustrating. I've said this story before. It's basically a small R2D2 from a Fine Molds Y-wing. That I was actually, it was a hot summer's day, and I was outside doing some work on it because I've got a little table in the garden. So I was out enjoying the sun, and it pinged off the table. Now I'm on the patio, and the patio is just flagstones. There's nothing for anything to get lost in. There's no gap at the time. There were no gaps. There were no plants. It was just flagstones as far as the eye can see. So the only place it can go is onto the flagstone. It should be there, and I've never, to this day, about 5 years later, never found it. It's just like it's many meters to the nearest flower bed, and yet it just went ping, and then just.
It'll be pride of place in some little sparrow's nest now.
Yeah. The funny thing is that even to this day, every now and then, myself or Mama Fox will go outside and say, and just look down at the floor with the back of our mind, like looking for a little silver R2D2. It's like that big.
And one year you'll find it.
Yeah, it'll be in a bathroom for some bizarre reason.
Right, where are we up to? Stickers, won't we? Yes. Yeah, we'd shown the stickers. You can win 2 stickers.
Yeah. Do you want to do the question, Ted? Have you got the email up?
I'll get the email up again.
Reese is in. Hey, Reese.
Yeah, Stephen Hill Harris. We've got a question from Stephen Hill Harris.
Excellent.
Just to check, everybody, while we're reading this out, just refresh your browser.
Refresh.
Refresh.
Drag. Refresh. Drag. Exits to the left and to the right.
Dave Cardboard says, imagine some archaeologist finding it in a dig in 1,000 years' time.
Yeah.
That fascinates the idea of what people will find that I might have left behind in 1,000 years. And whatever it is, you just guarantee there'll be some spoon there going, well, it's obviously a ritual type site. And it's like, my bedroom.
Stephen Rolfe says he lost a manoeuvring thruster from an eagle and it turned up 2 weeks later.
Oh.
What's the longest time that it's been for your bit to find a bit that you lost?
Well, me, it's 5 years with that R2D2.
Yeah, but you haven't found it either. So.
I usually give it about 10 minutes and I give up.
Yeah. Michael Jackerman lost a shackle off his Tiger tank, but not worried, being replaced with metal ones.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's about the time when you start thinking, I'm going to have to build another one that you find.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the question.
Yes.
Everybody should have been refreshed by now. A question from Stephen Hill Harris, who lives in Clarksville, Ohio, US of A. Is he in tonight, Stephen? Never mind. No, never mind.
I'm sure I'll see him around.
Here we go. Good evening, Ted, Chris, and Foxx. Yep.
But you missed eye off.
Good. Looking forward once more to your weekly show. Here's an airplane question that shouldn't be too hard to answer. Okay. Here's a question. The Avro Lancaster was a development of which unsuccessful twin-engine bomber in World War II? Go. So, what unsuccessful twin-engine bomber did they develop the Lancaster from?
Unsuccessful. Which doesn't, the name doesn't suggest it, but
that's Gaz Vickers. Suitable name there, Gaz Vickers. It says Manchester.
Yeah. Now, there's nothing unsuccessful about Manchester, so it's obviously clearly the wrong answer, but it's the right answer. We'll give him the prize. It was the Emperor of Manchester.
Yeah, it seems all the right answers are coming in. So, yeah, Stephen says it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Sprue Addict says Joan Collins.
Yeah. Is she from
Everybody else answered it properly, but everybody's just looking at Sprue Glue. Everybody just turn around. So what are you doing? Turn around and look at Sprue Glue, please. Give him a look. Give him the kind of look.
So well done, Gaz. 2 stickers will be on its way to you eventually.
Yep. Send an email to Ted at Foxx then. Ted at eModels.co.uk and just say that you won the double stickers, the big and small. And we'll get them sent out. Include your name and address.
Yeah. If I get I've got a job interview tomorrow, so if I get a job, I can buy some stamps and then go to the post office.
He's going to work at that special club with the poles and the dancing, and it's the bikini thing all over again.
Yeah,
he knows what a Princess Leia bikini is. He's just not telling you.
I keep saying I've got the stash for that sort
of. Family friendly.
Sweet. Right, cool. Right, that's it. Yeah. What else have we got to do? We've got 15 minutes to kill yet, so we'll sit back and let this sort of chat amongst themselves.
Yeah, that's it. We'll just sit quietly and watch what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For some reason, Arm Brit told Fox to delete his browser history.
I don't know. Did I inadvertently show something that
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't remember having a particularly dubious browser history. Trust me, there's nothing dubious in my browser history. It's just occasional conspiracy theory site, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, Nicholas C says new job. Yeah, I'm thinking of applying for a new. Yeah, I've got for a job interview tomorrow. To be a handyman. Not that I do anything else, but yeah. So, work in the lakes. So yeah, doing bits and pieces. Right.
Right. No, Armbrit says no. Archaeology, digging up your hard drive.
Oh,
Right. So yeah, that's what. Yeah.
That's why I said
right.
clear your browser history. I get you now.
What I can't understand is when it comes to archaeology, how come they always dig holes in the ground? How come the Romans lived 6 foot below us?
Because it's just the natural debris and stuff that goes over the top. All the plants that grow and then die and make more soil. That's how it works. Because a lot of the place, don't forget, a lot of the times they dig these things up, they're in the middle of a farmer's field, which would have been woodland for hundreds and hundreds of years. So, because I often wondered that, but I love archaeology, so it's just all the stuff and detritus and soil that gets built up over the top. They didn't actually build these things like 10 foot underground.
But there's no more earth than there used to be.
No, but if you walk into a forest and a wood, you see all the leaf litter on the floor. That builds up and then decays down to make.
But
where does it come from?
It comes from the trees and the plants and.
But that grows from the ground, so there's not more. The earth's not bigger than it used to be.
It's science.
But like take for instance York, the Romans are still 6 foot below the surface of the houses that are there now.
The Vikings built a city on top of it, but
there hasn't been any forest drought. It's been buildings.
No, that's just that's urban development over the top. But the thing with like rural stuff is often if it's farmland, it's like agricultural tilling of the fields and stuff and ploughing it disturbs all the stuff on the top. So there will be some build-up of like just debris and stuff that blows in and wind and dust and sand and all kinds of things, and just normal human activity.
Spedicu said it's really because the Romans love to bury things and say, imagine what they think when they dig this up in years.
Yeah, I mean, I often joke with Mama Fox, and because I always wanted. I'm convinced there's probably something interesting under our garden that we don't know about, and I want to dig holes and find out and do a test pit, do a trench, but I'm never allowed to. I just want to do a little trench, do a tranche, and just start. It could be like,
but don't dig it in your garden, then dig it in next door's garden.
No, the thing what you have to do now is send a letter to your local police station saying, I'm John Smith and I confess to a murder that I committed in 20 years ago. And I buried the body in your address.
But when you dig it up, please can you go in small slices with trowel? No, because the things I used to love Time Team. I'm a total Time Team nut, and I love archaeology. So I'd love to just dig a test pit and just see. Because I'd probably find like an ancient Roman power cable or ancient Roman matchbox cars that I buried when I was a kid. Or because the one thing you get around where I am in Cheshire is wherever you dig a hole, you will guarantee to find either bits of clay pipe. So clearly people spent their entire lives using a clay pipe once and throwing it on the floor all over the place, everywhere.
Apparently these clay pipes were basically disposable cigarettes.
Yeah, so clearly people just stood around and go, I'm throw that one.
Yeah, well, that's what I do with fag ends now, isn't it?
That's true. But you also find everywhere willow pattern china. Like, the plates with the blue and white willow pattern.
Yeah, well, that's your Costa coffee cup, isn't it? Because they just drink that and they throw that away. But they have it in China with a saucer. But
that's the weird thing, though, because, I mean, where we are, it used to be, I think, just like farmland. So why is somebody in the middle of a farmer's field breaking up china plates? No matter where you get, it's never like green china or red china. It's always willow pattern china. What is it about?
Maybe that lasts longer than green china.
No, something about Cheshire in the 1800s that everybody just went into fields and smashed up crockery all the time. Very strange. Reese says, I loved Phil on Time Team. His phase was so funny. I love Phil. All right, here we go, Tony. You've been going on about stratigraphy. Then you got ancient Roman layer, and then you've got your Neolithic layer there. I love Time Team. Time Team's the best.
Zadster says, Fox, go to Old Maps UK and look at old maps of your area.
I've tried it. There's not actually a lot available. It's basically, this was 1930s housing estate. Before that, it was just kind of land. There's big gaps. I've not been able, without spending money, and I'm not going to spend money. So I did write to Time Team once when I was much younger and said, "Hey, please, can you come and dig up our garden? Because it'd just be brilliant." It didn't work. Kieran Keith says, "I like Time Team mainly because of Baldrick, but I did like the series with him and the drones, especially when they went to that Cold War bunker. I like it when they did the World War II stuff in Time Team. That was quite good. Dig up Spitfires and trenches and things.
Yeah,
Stephen Rolfe says, in 100 years, you'll find loads of eModels mugs.
Everywhere you dig, it's and white eModels.
eModels mugs and stickers.
Roger says you've never seen Foxx and Phil in the same room. That's right. That's right. It's a stratigraphy. They're in the same room but different layers. That's what it is. I need a sweaty mark on the band there.
It's really
I've got better fingernails than Phil Harding anyway.
Really, yeah, gets really excited about a changing colour of the stratosphere.
Phil Harding's great. Oh, look at that! Then Tony's brilliant. Look at that! It was fantastic. All right, I loved him. He was brilliant.
RC Models official says the Cold War bunker he's here in Essex. Is that the secret bunker where it's got signposts saying secret bunker?
Secret bunker, yeah.
Secret nuclear bunker. Spruglu says eModels plastic stickers will be around for years.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they'll be taxing them soon. You have to keep them because the plastic they'll be taxed.
Yeah. Zadster says it does a real Phil Harding. He says, "Oh, R." Look at that.
It's all gone quiet.
Smooth says, no, that's in Scotland, in Fife. Is that the secret bunker?
Yeah, I think that might, yeah, it's up north somewhere.
I don't know. In Uxbridge, near where I am, there's a bunker that's was used for stuff, but they've opened it up for the public now. You can go over and wander around.
I love that. I love the idea of the kind of going into an abandoned building that's not been. It's like when they uncover like an underground station that was closed in the 40s or 50s, and it's just been left for like 50 or 60 years. And you go in and it's got all the original posters and it's just in pristine. I'd love that. I'd love to walk in somewhere and just find this like rooms and stuff that haven't been opened or touched for like decades. It'd be fantastic. I love that kind of.
Yeah. How can somebody forget a railway station?
I think they normally, if I remember right, there's a few of them that's like where they close off part of a line and they just don't need the station anymore.
Yeah, there's the underground ones, isn't there, that they go past, but it's all in darkness, so you can't actually see them. But they're like the ghost stations or hidden stations or whatever on the underground. I
think they were lines that they used to use but don't anymore because other stations have come up, and they just lock them up and then leave them. And there was one, it was on, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like going through the station. It was all beautiful condition, a little bit of damp, but it was all the 1950s posters and everything just there.
Just a step back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Occasionally, I think you see on the internet and things like that, occasionally you'll find an old lady that's lived in a house and she hasn't altered it for 40, 50 odd years, and she'll die and somebody will walk in and it's just been left untouched. It must be quite amazing to see.
There's a place like that in France somewhere where it was they went in and it had been like something like 120 years because the person that lived there had died and the family who lived abroad had never gone over to sort it all out, so it just sat shuttered up. It was all paid for and bought, so nobody ever, there was no landlord, she owned the building, so, and they went in and it was in pristine, it was like all this like furniture and stuff from 100 odd years ago, it was in pristine condition. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Pete Rogers says when they refurbished Windsor Castle, they uncovered lost rooms. Oh yeah, we don't go in that room. I don't remember what was in there, but
I've been to old houses doing jobs and things in old houses where they've had doors that have been wallpapered over. They stopped using a door, so they put wallpaper over it. Just left it.
I mean, when I did some work on this house, it was 1930s house, I was taking up the wallpaper and stuff. And it's one of those houses where they had the skirting board and then the walls. There's a big gap because it's 1930s and I'm not very good. So what they did was they just filled it with newspaper. So I'm taking all the wallpaper and stuff off and chipping away at it. And I'm pulling out all this newspaper and spiders and things as well because there's a big gap like this big. And I'm like, this is like 1936 newspaper. There's a story about Altrincham Football Club beating Stockport 3-1, 1936 or 1937, whenever it was. And there's a story about some woman whose son died in World War One, and like, you know, there's a place that sells greenhouses, and there's a lot. This was printed, and the next day was stuffed into a crevice and hasn't been seen since. And I'm probably the second person in the entire world, third maybe, that's ever going to see the writing on this page. And then I put it in the bin.
Yesterday's news. It's all news.
Yeah, but it was amazing. It's like the stuff they put in these old local newspapers in the 30s was just really boring.
Anyway, on that note, I think it's about time we wrapped up for this evening. Unless anything else anybody's got anything really important to say? For
Phil East says he worked in the building that used to be the Yorkshire Gentlemen's Club, found a couple of old rooms and a mini courtyard.
oh, wow. Old Gentlemen's Club. Oh.
Yeah, all the jokes, please, after we finish the stream.
Great. Right, I think we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, I will make a start this week on my little U-boat. So it may well be that before the end of this week or early next week, there'll be an episode up for that. The Zaku build from Simon is now complete. The last episode went up last week, over the last few days, so go and check it out.
Yeah, don't forget the new eModels builders giving your support. And,
so Simon's finished his Zaku. He's thinking about what to do next, so stay tuned. And Andrew's LaFerrari, stupid name. Ferrari LaFerrari build is ongoing, so that's still going strong. But this hopefully should be an episode up in the next few days.
Cool. We'll look forward to seeing that. And well, we'll leave it at that then. And until next time, thank you everybody for coming in, and we'll see you next week as well. And we'll do it all again. So thanks for watching. Yeah, nothing left to say but good night all.
We've got to remind Foxx that he's got the button.
Yeah, I was just looking for the button. I couldn't find the button then. I was just
I've got it, Ted. Shall I press the button?
press the button. Yeah. Bye.
Good night, everybody.